SVG has very quickly turned into one of the most talked about drivers in NASCAR, and much of that attention centers on his dominance in road course racing. The New Zealand native entered the sport with relatively little Cup Series experience, yet immediately displayed a level of composure, precision, and race intelligence that caught both fans and competitors off guard. In an era where adaptation usually takes years, SVG has made an instant impact. With only a small number of Cup starts to his name, the conversation has already shifted from whether he belongs in NASCAR to something much bigger. Is Shane van Gisbergen already the greatest road course racer the series has ever seen? SVG's rise to prominence began with what many consider one of the most memorable debuts in NASCAR history, the inaugural Chicago street race. The event itself was chaotic from start to finish. Changing weather conditions, a tight and unforgiving street layout, limited practice time, and constant cautions created an environment where even veteran drivers struggled to keep their cars out of trouble. While others fought just to survive, Shane looked completely at home. He controlled the race, avoided mistakes, and ultimately drove away with the win. It wasn't just a victory, it was a statement. He followed that performance with another impressive win in Mexico City, removing any doubt that Chicago had been a fluke. What made these victories even more impressive was how different the tracks were. Chicago was a narrow, technical street circuit with little room for error, while Mexico City featured a more traditional road course layout. Winning on both proved that SVG's skill wasn't track-specific. It showed that his talent translated across multiple styles of road racing, convincing many in the NASCAR world that a new standard might be emerging. As the series headed to Sonoma Raceway, one of NASCAR's most historic and demanding road courses, the discussion around SVG only intensified. Sonoma H has been on the schedule for decades, and is a track where experience typically plays a massive role. Many drivers have spent years learning its elevation changes, braking zones, and rhythm. Despite that, Shane entered the weekend with far fewer laps at Sonoma than most of the field, yet he was still installed as the betting favorite. Not just a mild favorite, but a heavy one. That fact alone raised eyebrows. Kyle Larson, the defending winner at Sonoma, has years of experience and is widely regarded as one of the most versatile drivers in the sport. Kyle Busch has also logged thousands of laps there over his career. Under normal circumstances, those names would top the list. Instead, sportsbooks and analysts lean toward SVG, a driver still relatively new to the Cup Series. That reality highlighted just how much respect he had already earned. Naturally, this sparked a bigger debate. Is SVG already the best road course racer in NASCAR Cup Series history? To even approach that question, comparisons to legends of the sport are unavoidable. Jeff Gordon and Tony Stewart are often considered the benchmark. Gordon recorded 9 road course victories, mastering both Sonoma and Watkins Glen during his career. Stewart wasn't far behind, earning 8 wins and building a reputation for excelling in any type of race car across multiple eras. Shane van Gisbergen, by comparison, currently holds 3 Cup Series victories, all on road courses. On paper, those numbers don't yet rival Gordon or Stewart. However, numbers alone don't tell the full story. The NASCAR schedule and competitive environment have changed significantly over time. In Gordon and Stewart's prime, there were typically only 2 road course races per season. Opportunities to win on road courses were limited, making each victory more significant but harder to accumulate. Today's schedule tells a different story. Modern NASCAR includes a much larger number of road and street courses. In the 2023 season alone, 6 such events appeared on the calendar, including races that counted toward the playoffs. That expansion has fundamentally altered how road course success is measured. Competition has also grown deeper. In the late 1990s and early 2000s, only a small group of drivers were considered true road course threats. Names like Jeff Gordon, Tony Stewart, Robbie Gordon, and Marcos Ambrose stood out. For much of the field, simply finishing cleanly was considered a good day. In contrast, today's Cup Series features a wide pool of elite road course talent. Drivers such as Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson, Tyler Reddick, Chris Buescher, and Michael McDowell all have proven success in these races. SVG isn't just winning against a shallow field. He's beating some of the most versatile and skilled drivers NASCAR has ever seen. That level of competition makes his dominance even more striking. Another major difference between eras is data availability. Modern NASCAR teams operate in a world driven by telemetry and analytics. Every lap produces a wealth of information, including braking points, throttle traces, steering angles, and racing lines. Teams can study SVG's data in detail, replaying every input and movement. Despite this unprecedented access, rivals still struggle to replicate his performance. That suggests his advantage isn't simply technical or mechanical, it's instinctive. SVG's background plays a huge role in this. Coming from Australian supercars, he spent years racing heavy, high-powered rear-wheel drive cars on tight technical circuits. While supercars and NASCAR machines are not identical, the skill sets required, precision braking, throttle control, and car balance, translate extremely well to road and street courses. Shane's ability to apply those skills almost immediately speaks to his exceptional adaptability. Most drivers switching series require multiple seasons to feel truly comfortable. SVG needed only a handful of races. That fact alone sets him apart. At Sonoma Raceway, one of the most challenging tracks on the schedule, his performances continued to impress, but his dominance wasn't limited to one venue. In less than a year, Shane managed to sweep both the Cup Series and Xfinity Series races at the Chicago Street Course. He then followed that with another commanding victory in Mexico City, where he crossed the finish line more than 16 seconds ahead of second place. In a series where margins are often measured in hundredths of a second, that gap was staggering. That kind of performance sent a clear message. SVG isn't just competitive, he's operating on a different level. Kyle Larson captured that sentiment perfectly when asked about SVG in a press conference. Larson described Shane as so good and emphasized how rare it is to see a driver separate himself so clearly from the rest of the field. He openly admitted that SVG's techniques, such as right foot braking and clutch usage, are skills that most drivers simply cannot learn this late in their careers. Larson also acknowledged that while Shane is still adjusting to oval racing, continued improvement there could make him a dominant force across all disciplines. It's important to remember that SVG didn't arrive in NASCAR unproven. Before making the transition, he was a 3-time Supercars champion in Australia and New Zealand. Those championships were earned in brutally competitive series that reward consistency, adaptability, and technical excellence. That experience laid a strong foundation for NASCAR road racing, even if ovals present an entirely new challenge. Ovals demand a different mindset, drafting at high speeds, managing tire